Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. This is my first video. It's a get to know me video, so I guess I should start with my name. My name is Aza, and yeah, this channel is gonna be everything fitness, lifestyle, wellness, and just me struggle busting my way through life. But I wanted to just hop on and introduce myself and start with just getting to know each other. I want to be friends here. I want this to be a good community, and I want to be completely transparent with everybody. This is mostly for me as a way to document myself and my journey and just share it all with you and hopefully motivate and inspire and uplift others on the way. My goals for this channel and for my social media presence as a whole is just kind of to keep it real. There's a lot of influencers that I follow that I take inspiration from, but I think that overconsumption of some people's lives can be kind of harmful, especially when they only show you the good parts of their lives, right? I mean, my closet isn't always organized. All of my athletic wear isn't organized. My kitchen isn't that organized. I mean, it is, but like not everything matches. Not everything's perfect. All of my meal prep containers are different. You know, that kind of stuff. It's so minimal, but it makes you feel like you're doing something wrong sometimes. To go back to what I was saying, I want this channel to be a place where we can see that, you know, we can work on ourselves and be our best selves without having everything 100%, you know? We're not gonna look camera ready every day. Our skin is not gonna be perfect every day. Our hair isn't gonna be done every day. You know, our workouts aren't always gonna be the best, and that's okay. So that's kind of my goal as a person and as an individual that is more prevalent on social media. Is prevalent the right word? I don't know. But I have some things written down. I asked on my Instagram a couple days ago what people were wondering for my first video, my Get to Know Me video. But I wanted to just start with who I am. I watched a Chrissy Chella podcast the other day that really inspired me in just 5 seconds, really inspired me. The interviewer asked who she is. And she responded that, you know, normally she would say something about what she does, her job, what she does with her time, and not really who she is as a person. And that really inspired me because, maybe not inspired, but that really woke me up, I guess, because I do the same thing. When people ask who I am, I always say, oh, I work in film. Oh, I'm a musician. Oh, I blah, 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 blah. Things that I do and things that would put me at a certain level in society, right? My job title. And I think a lot of us are guilty of doing the same thing. But who I am as a person is a lot different. You know, I'm someone who's compassionate, someone who is kind. I'm someone who carries spiders outside because I don't want to kill them. I'm somebody who, you know, I have fish in a tank and I treat them better than I treat myself. I'm somebody who is flawed, like all of us. I'm somebody who, I didn't write this down and I'm putting myself on the spot. Who am I? I would just say overall I'm someone who's kind and driven, and I just want the best for myself and for the people around me. And by people around me, I mean you too. Everybody that crosses paths with me in person or online. I want the best for all of you. I want the best for myself. I want to create a better world for all of us, a better community for all of us. I'm somebody who prioritizes mental health overall. And of course that trickles into physical health because the two go hand in hand. So I guess that leads into the first topic, which was what got me into fitness. Yeah, what got me into fitness? And this question, I sat down with my notebook, my trusty, dusty notebook. I sat here with my notebook thinking, what got me into fitness? And honestly, I could say that it was Chloe Ting, but I think it was in the 6th grade. Instagram and Facebook were kind of more prevalent in our lives. I think I was in the 6th grade in 2013. And so yeah, we were starting to get access to social media, and I still remember being on the playground and all the girls were talking about thigh gaps. Then I'd go on social media and I would see how to get a thigh gap and all of this stuff. And right then the trend was thigh gap. That was the trend. I'm sure you all remember. It was having a thigh gap. That was what everybody wanted, what everybody needed was a thigh gap. And you know, when you're 12 or 13, you're not really educated in the fact that not everybody is biologically predisposed to having a thigh gap. Not everybody is can have a thigh gap no matter how skinny they get. You know, it depends on your body composition and your bone structure, right? But I didn't understand that. I thought just the skinnier you get a thigh gap. And then it was, you know, having cute, feminine, thin wrists and having those 11 abs. Not a six pack because that's manly, but having the 11 line abs, you know, and it was all of these things that were pointed out to me as a child that eventually, when I was old enough to work on my fitness and my athleticism, it wasn't even my fitness and athleticism that I was focused on. It was the aesthetics and what I wanted to look like. And I think that's pretty sad for a 14-year-old kid to be focused on, or younger, 12, 13. This was all happening around that age, that time. And at that time, you know, for male and female kids, that's when our body is changing the most. We're going through puberty, we're getting bigger, we're getting smaller, our hormones are adjusting, all of that. It's just, you know, not really something that we should be focused on. We should be focused on being kids, right? And I wish that I could go back and tell my little self and pinch her cheeks. Just have fun with sport. Just have fun with exercise, you know? Don't worry about what you look like. But we were all at that point once, right? So I would say that's what got me into fitness, unfortunately. It started as a negative thing about body image. I was an athlete, a very active child in multiple different sports, but mostly it was dance. I did all forms of dance, 4 hours a day, really, after school. It was a lot, and I love dance. I still to this day love the art form and really appreciate it and appreciate all athletes within that sport, but man, was it hard on body image. It was so hard on body image because you look at a lot of professional dancers and they're tiny, you know, and there's that old saying that like a ballerina's diet is coffee and cigarettes, and it's kind of true. I think it's better now. Absolutely, it's better now, and we're prioritizing health and fitness, and there is more full body size, body range in professional dance. But, you know, for the most part, you're expected to be tiny and very, very lean. And again, at that age, what can you expect from yourself? Your body is changing so much. You're a child. You're changing from a child to an adolescent, and then all of a sudden from an adolescent to an adult. There's a lot of change happening. You can't expect yourself to be picture perfect. So I would say that's what got me into fitness overall, for body image, which eventually turned into me weightlifting on my own time. And then through experience and trial and error and looking up different things and trying to reach different goals, I learned more and more and more, and eventually got to where I am today. The other question that was asked a lot on my Instagram story was what got me into boxing. I boxed here and there as a teenager. I kind of just went when I could. We had a small club in my hometown, and I really enjoyed it. It was really fun. It was a really great stress reliever to hit the bag, and honestly, it was probably one of the only sports in my life that I wasn't competing in at that time. So it was just nice to have a physical outlet that there was no pressure on. I did it mostly for fitness. There wasn't a lot of technique because I was just there for fun, really. And then I moved to the city a couple years ago, and I was working in film for 2 years, you know, 13 to 17 hour days sometimes, 5 to 6 to 7 days a week. I was very busy, and so I would just weightlift when I could. I didn't really have a lot of time for myself, and I wasn't really taking care of me. I was just focused on, you know, the dollar bills and my income and paving the way for a career for myself. But last year, as you may know, there was a strike in the film industry that lasted a long time. And so I found that I had a lot of free time, and I was getting kind of bored with weightlifting. I was plateauing. I wasn't pushing myself. I was just losing inspiration. And I know a lot of it comes down to discipline and dedication to the craft and to your sport. But, you know, I was kind of losing that, and I needed a kind of boost of motivation. And I think after months of trying to remain disciplined and just being bored and not really having any drive to keep strength training, I think that part of the reason that I wanted to start boxing again was also for self-defense and for confidence, just being able to defend myself. So I looked at boxing gyms in the area, and I found Beyond Boxing just up the way, and I went in for my free trial, and I've been there ever since. It's been almost a year now since I started boxing again, and I would not change anything. For the life of me, I would not change anything. I am healthier. My cardiovascular health is so much better. I neglected cardio so much when I with strength training. I'm so much more coordinated. I've learned so much in a short period of time. I feel more confident. I lost a lot of extra body fat because of that increased cardio endurance. And not that body fat really had anything to do with it. I didn't get into it trying to lose weight. You know, I was happy with where my body was at. But, you know, I'm comfortable at this size, and it's just kind of like an extra cherry on top, you know? Mental health as well. I mean, obviously, if you need a therapist, you should go see a therapist. All of you know, if you're in the gym community, how much better you feel when you're exercising, how much that helps your mental health. But I didn't really get that from running or anything. But you know, something about hitting a bag really clears the mind that I couldn't find anywhere else. My grandfather was a boxer. He used to travel all over the States. He was a pro boxer. Over the last few years, he's had, you know, some health decline, and it's been up and down, doesn't really keep up as much conversation, and me and him never really had anything to connect on. And last year, his health was really, really bad. He was getting really bad oxygen levels. I think he had a couple strokes. It wasn't confirmed, but he was just not there. But when I went home for a friend's funeral, and I visited him, and I was talking about all the things I was learning at the gym and from my coaches, he lit up and was telling me all the things that he used to do when he was a boxer, and telling me all these stories and giving me all these tips. And, you know, some of it I didn't quite understand at the time, you know, because I was still learning. But just seeing him so interested in conversation with me, and just seeing how much like flooded back with his memory, it was so heartwarming. And in that moment, like before then, I didn't think I wanted to step in the ring and fight at all. I thought that I was just gonna do it to train and, you know, to learn things, but I didn't know. I was a little bit timid when it came to actually having a bout. But in that moment, I'm pretty sure I left my grandfather's house and I texted my coach and I said, I'm gonna fight, coach. I'm gonna fight next year. Even if it's just one time, I want to do it. So that's kind of on my 2024 to-do list, is hopefully to have my first amateur bout. And I'll obviously be taking you along the way with me. The last thing that I have written down here was my goals for the near and distant future. I kind of touched on it a little bit, but that was just like my goals for the channel. Goals for the near future, just to be happy and to keep pushing, and to get to know as many of you as possible, and to create a community, to take care of myself and my health, mentally and physically, and yeah, just to expand myself as an individual, I think. And for the distant future, again, just be happy, keep pushing, you know, take care of my family, take care of my brother, my younger brother, take care of the people around me, take care of myself. Obviously, financial stability is something that we all want, and I just want to be in a position where, you know, I'm excited to wake up to this life every morning. I don't want to have to take a vacation to relax. I want to be excited every day. And you know what? I think I already have kind of gotten to that point. Every day I'm excited to get up and see what this new day is going to be. So I would say my goals for the distant future would be that. This year I do plan on getting my personal training certification, and I do want to kind of go into expanding and growing my own business. But job aside, I just want to be happy. Really, that's all I want. That's really all the questions that everybody had for me. I mean, they were all within those realms of, you know, what got me here and my interests and blah, 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 blah. There's some more I could say. I'm an artist. I've painted some murals around the city. I'm a musician. I've got an album that you can listen to, an EP that you can listen to, that I'll link down below. I have been neglecting this drink the entire time I've been filming this. I guess one more question for myself that just came to mind could be, why am I doing this? Everybody wants to be a digital creator, you know? But like, why do I think that I should do this? 2023 was the hardest year of my life. Looking back at, you know, all the years that I thought were the hardest years of my life were really just me going through the trials and errors and growth periods as a teenager. You know, all of those things everybody goes through. You know, I had a pretty privileged childhood. I didn't come from like a rich family, but I was privileged in that I always had food on the table, and my parents were always supportive and accepting of me. So really any issue that I had before last year was just, you know, your run-of-the-mill growing up, teenage angst, heartbreak, blah, 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 blah. But 2023 was genuinely the hardest year of my life. I grew a lot. I lost a lot. I lost 2 friends. I decided to leave a 5-year relationship, which was very, very hard. I moved a lot because of that. And it just felt like things just kept piling up, you know, and not little things, like big adult problems. And I'm 21. I'm still learning how to navigate these things. And I'm trying to be patient with myself and compassionate with myself in that I shouldn't expect myself to know how to handle all of these things right away. But yeah, just navigating grief of friends, grief of that 5-year relationship, and just figuring out myself was so hard. You know, all of these things kind of happened within a few months of each other. I think now I'm kind of coming out of it, going into 2024 with a fresh mind and really asking myself, what do I want? Like, what do I want for myself? What do I want to do? What is the outcome that I'm looking for? And I think that these are the questions that we're going to be asking ourselves for the rest of our life, whether we're 21, we're 31, we're 41, we're 51, who cares? You're going to be going through these redeveloping stages at any period of your life. You know, things are going to change. You're going to make career changes. You're going to change. Your brain is going to change. Your body's going to change. But right now I'm in one of those periods where I'm kind of at the base of another mountain, you know, and looking up and wondering which peak I want to climb to. So I think that starting to upload more on social media is just really me trying to figure out what I want to do and me trying to set up something for myself and step into this new stage of my life. So yeah, that's me. Hopefully you feel you've gotten to know me a little bit. Say hi in the comments if you watched this video this far, and say something about you. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Have a lovely day, and I'll see you next Sunday. Bye.